you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Power to the people, honey. The gospel is heaven.
Our special guest is a truth teller, dropping gems with her weekly podcast, Small Doses, along with performing stand-up across the globe and touring colleges, doing comedic lectures on everything from sexism and diversity. And did we mention she's on a series as a regular as Tiffany on HBO's Insecure? Please welcome comedian, actress, writer, producer, and more, Amanda Seales.
Hey, y'all.
Girl, what's going on?
Good. Thank y'all for having me.
Oh man, we appreciate. Oh yes, we are very good. We really appreciate you taking time out your schedule because, of course, you're coming to Houston very soon, and we want to let the people of the city know they've got to attend this show.
Yes. Me too.
Now, number one, you use your comedy to address some serious issues in our society. Now, how do you find ways to address sensitive topics and mix humor with it?
How do I find ways to mix sensitive topics? I mean, that's just my way. I mean, that's really the best way I can put it, because it's not like a formula that I kind of sit down and, plug things into, and it's not like someone else writes for me. It's just the way that my brain processes things is kind of like I see, what the situation is, and I see how it, can possibly be challenged or changed. Mm-hmm. And my natural, voice in terms of, performance is in a comedic space. So I feel like, the best comedy comes from a truthful place, and it comes from like your actual passion. And for me, like, my passion is to talk about social change and talk about things going on in society and, talk about relationships. And all of that, to me, all comes down to like topics of oppression and topics of sexism and topics of discrimination, etc. Like, you just can't get away from the reality of how those things affect all these other aspects of our life.
That's one of the things I like about the tour you started, Smart, Funny, and Black. It's motivational. I mean, it's knowledgeable. Why did you go ahead and put that together?
Well, Smart, Funny, and Black originally started as a comedy showcase in New York City, where I wanted to just expand people's idea of what comedy from Black comedians is. I think that it was a very limited scope. And there's this thought process for some ridiculous reason that, like, Black intellectual comedy is not considered Black comedy. And we know that that's ridiculous.
Right.
So I was like, no, like, we're just going to call it what it is. So there's no confusion. Smart, Funny, and Black. And when I came to LA, I was like, you know what, let's like take this to another level. And so I created it into a game show format. But it's more than just a game show. I mean, it's a live experience. I always say that on Smart, Funny, and Black, we don't just talk about Black culture. We take Black culture to church. Because when you leave that space, you feel enriched, you feel full, you feel revitalized. And we need that, especially at a time when, we're just faced with so much foolery from our administration, from just the everyday life of being in America, and just globally a sense of, like, I feel like there's kind of this idea that individualism is becoming just selfishness. And I think it's great to come together in a unified state. So we, Smart, Funny, and Black is like a full-on comedy show, but you're not just gonna laugh, you're gonna learn. And, I felt like that was needed. And for the fact that we sold out 20 of our 24 shows, it says to me that other folks felt that way too. But we haven't sold out Houston yet.
Oh no, we're working on it.
Houston, where y'all at?
Yes.
We sold out our first show in Houston. We added a second show to make sure that everybody can get to experience the show.
Yes, and I'm telling you, everybody listening, please, the Heifers have never steered you wrong when we tell you guys to go check out something. Amanda Seales is a must-see. Check it off your wish list, okay? Now, speaking of comedy,
for the seal of approval.
Besides you getting the official Heifer seal of approval, we follow you on Instagram, and we got to talk about the recent video you put up of the comedian Darren Knight, aka Southern Mama, and where he was actually booed off stage. And you were backstage filming and laughing as he got booed off the stage. So, I mean, for people who are not, up to what happened, could you fill them in?
On a basic note, what happened was he was a part of the Comics to Watch Variety Top 10 list. And that's a very prestigious honor to be given at the Just for Laughs Festival. And I was very proud to be a part of that list. And he's not a stand-up comedian, so all of us were kind of like, we don't know why you're part of that list, but, we're all cool. It's like, there must be some reason. But it ended up devolving into him using this platform to basically speak his thoughts on what he feels comedy is and isn't, and what he thinks comedy should talk about. And he felt that all of us who were on the list, who were using our platform to speak about sexism or to speak about our own experiences, there were other comics on there who were talking about their own experiences of coming out of the closet. There's other comics on there talking about their own experience as immigrants. I was talking about challenging racism. And he just said, that that's not what comedy is about. And comedy should not be used for that purpose because it's ostracizing audiences. Comedy is to make people laugh. And it's like, even if that is your opinion, the place in which he expressed that was on stage, and it was meant to, he was saying it basically to say that, like, folks should not be giving us praise. Well, buddy, all of us came on stage and knocked this whole thing down. You came on stage and bombed for 7 minutes and didn't even use your whole 10 minutes. So you really are not in a place to be speaking about this. But I think the biggest conversation about this really is about the fact that, like, there's becoming this very overt, feeling from, certain media outlets and just in general, there's this overt need to, like, include the quote unquote Trump voter, or to include the quote unquote Trump mindset in a group of people, and it's really what I call ignorance-based inclusion, because there is no need to include them. Like, if you're, like, cause, there's a lot of comics that have been expressing the sentiment of the fact that, like, actually Sam J, who was one of the variety comics to watch, she actually said, we're seeing a new level of stupid white man. Yes. Because we got folks, she was like, we got folks, like, I can understand why certain folks voted for other folks in the past because they didn't know no better. Now, these are folks who are like, yeah, he's taking our health care, he's ruining our whole lives, but we're still gonna rock out with this. That doesn't even make sense. Like, that you're not, like, better, and you're still like, I don't want to do better. But it's, so to include that in a group, and to be now feeling like you need to do that, I mean, that's why Roseanne had a show on CBS in the first place. Yes. Because it was like, well, let's appeal to this group. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, but making an effort to appeal to a group that is unappealing makes no damn sense.
No, I mean, that was real heartfelt, man, because you, among other comics, really expressed yourself in that situation. Now, speaking of the Trump state of mind, Caitlyn Jenner, classic footage of you and Caitlyn Jenner where you had to break down some stuff that, sometimes the Trump mindset, they just, refuse to take in the reality and the truth of what's really going on with people and what the administration currently is doing to demolish everybody in America getting along. So from that conversation, which is still classic, do you still get any feedback from that? And has it opened your eyes up to people who were in your circle that you thought were a certain way of thinking, but found out on the flip side, oh, this is how you really think?
Yeah. It actually did that in a positive way. Because I feel like that conversation kind of made a number of people like feel like they have license to speak up in ways that they may not have felt they did. Because we are, especially like my peers in Hollywood, like you just kind of feel pressure sometimes to not say too much. Or to not, express your political views because you don't want it to get in the way, quote unquote, of your possibilities or opportunities or, your relationships. And I think that by my kind of being in this place that was clearly highly visible and, that was with individuals that are connected to certain opportunities that I may want to be connected to in the future, by me being in that space and still sticking to my truth, I think that it made a number of folks who I may have looked at like, man, y'all weak. It made them feel like, you know what, let me actually show like what I really do believe about this. And that opened my eyes to a number of folks. That was a really incredible experience that I did not anticipate to happen by any means. But in it happening, it also just connected me to a lot of the sisters in this community that I'm in this business that I'm in. And that really has been incredibly enriching. So, for the most part, it was actually positive. I think that I'm pretty good at knowing who the coons are and who the folks that are not allies are. And so I don't pander to them. I think we live in a world of billions of people, and there's just a lot of people who either get it or want to get it. Enough so that I don't feel like we need to waste our energy, or I don't need, like, let me just speak for myself, I don't need to waste my energy on trying to convert those who are blinded by the BS.
No, that's definitely a mission from God if you're trying to do that path.
That's just not my, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not my ministry. That's some people's ministry, but it's the same mine.
People who get you. You don't necessarily have to, worry about the other side and their opinions. Just, cater to who, gets you.
It's not even who just gets you, but who has ethic. Like, it's not even about the personal of, like, getting Amanda. It's like, if you can't see the realities of white privilege, I mean, honey, baby, I just don't have the time. Okay. Like, I don't have the time to educate. After a certain point, it's just like, we are in the information age where you have anything you need information-wise is pretty much at your fingertips.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if you're still in a place of ignorance about something that is so prevalent, and it's not even like it's been talked about surreptitiously, like it's been made very clear, like in just like, look at what happened to this person, look at what happened to this person. When we see all these white folks calling the cops on black folks, like that's just it's just blatant. It's like clear as day. This doesn't take like an 800 on the SATs in the verbal section to understand. Mm-hmm. So, there's that.
No, I mean, everything you're saying is 100 because, people just don't understand. You can't tell me that in this time and age, you just don't know of the privilege that you have right now.
But they're also very myopic because they're just choosing not to see what's right in front of them.
Yep.
It's self-imposed myopia.
I've been happy with the red pill. I'm going to continue to take the red pill, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel...
And I get it. Like, the red Kool-Aid is the best Kool-Aid. Like, I get it. But, like, it doesn't apply to the pill. Yeah,
especially with that extra sugar up in the mix, you already know they will slurp it down in a heartbeat.
Oh, beaties.
Stupid. Now, do you feel as a black woman in the entertainment industry that there's additional stigmas that we have to deal with because we are labeled so quickly? And it's just,
now,
almost...
Michelle, how you ask me a question you know the answer to?
Oh, I know.
That question.
She just wants you to go in, that's all.
That's why I'm waiting for that shovel to come out.
Setting me up for the rant. Let me just feed it to her right quick. Watch it go. Watch it go.
But see, you on a whole different level though, Amanda. Like I said, we're still on the come up trying to, build our brand. But with you being in movies, comedy tours, hip hop, I mean, a bunch of everything. And I know that you've had a little taste of, something in every aspect of your career.
I mean, yeah, listen, the black woman and the stereotype of our, strong black woman and the angry black woman, all that, like, that's not new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's just really just a matter of, how we flip it and ignore it. At this point, I'm just like, if you got a problem with it, the problem is you. Like, I mean, I just don't. I keep saying these days, I'm just like, you know what? There's certain things you can't change, so just change who you're talking to.
There you go.
Amen to that. Or block and delete.
Let's go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We got more coming up with the fabulous Amanda Seales on the Gospel Heifer Show.
Where the party at?
You are listening to these gossiping heifers.
Welcome back, and we are going to continue our interview with the fabulous Amanda Seales, talking about the stigmas black women face in the entertainment industry.
I feel like I've been very, very, very fortunate to have shifted and like find myself in spaces that appreciate my directness, and at the end of the day, it's like they know that what you see is what you get. And when we're in a time where literally like we're making up new words for lying, okay?
Yeah.
Like alternative facts is just like a new synonym for just straight lying. So we have now like, we are really like pushing this whole like fakeness thing. I think a lot of people do appreciate at the end of the day, like they may not like my tone every time. They may not like my approach, but you can't deny the facts. And I always say, like, I didn't shade you. The facts shaded you. So if you're mad, you just mad at the truth. But I think the other part of it is like, would you prefer that I be weak? Because then if you're weak, then it becomes like, oh, she doesn't have any moxie.
Right.
She has no pizzazz. Like there's no strength in that. And then it becomes a situation of like, oh, well, we want a strong black woman, but not that strong. You know what I mean? Yep. Strong. It's like Coke Zero. It's like Strong Zero. Just like we want Splenda strong. we want Splenda strong. You know, it's like strong, but like, you know, guilt free. You know, and I'm not here for that. And that's why I tell people when they come to Smart Funny and Black, I said Smart Funny and Black as a show is for everyone. You're only going to see black folks on the stage, but in the audience, everyone is welcome. But if you are a non-black person in the audience, know your place.
Hello.
Know your place. And when I say know your place, what I mean is that you're being welcomed into a family conversation. And when you enter into a family conversation, you listen.
Exactly. Don't speak.
And we are not here to protect your guilt, okay?
Yeah.
We're not having these conversations to preserve your tears, all right? So,
Make
you know,
cry.
it's not, it's like, it ain't for the faint of heart. Like, it's gonna get real, you know? And I think that, like, there's folks who come to the show that are non-black people and they leave and they're like, thank you so much for allowing me to get out of my white bubble to experience, you know, these amplified voices and these perspectives that I otherwise would not have gotten the opportunity to, because we live in a nation and a world that at the end of the day does diminish them.
Yep.
So.
No, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I do appreciate our woke, you know, white brothers and sisters that you can actually take the truth in and don't be bitter about it at the end. Just recognize.
The woke whites, I'm a fan of, you know?
Right.
I always say there's only two kinds of white people. There's white people and people who happen to be white. You know, that's what I always say. White people people who happen to be white are aware that whiteness is not a culture and it's a construct that was simply created to oppress. And white people are people who believe in that construct and consider their greatness to be based on something that is completely false and that is created to oppress. So it's like you have to look at yourself if you're a white person you know, if you're a person that is identified as white by others, you have to look at how do you identify yourself, because that will determine how you're utilizing your privilege.
And I wish people recognize that. If you
Any white people around me, I'd be like, what are you about?
Yep.
Exactly.
No, you got to scan and
Did you
filter
see
out.
Black Panther? Did you see Black Panther?
Show me the Wakanda greeting.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know. If you took over 3 weeks to see Black Panther, you might not be down.
I mean,
Instead of watching on the plane.
But this is one thing I love about you, Amanda, because, you know, I'm addicted to your podcast, Small Doses. And Small Doses,
Thank you.
I love the guests you have. I love the way you bring in your segments with what your producer call them, the Hot Pocket themes or jingles.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah. I love it, man. But one of the favorite episodes, you just did an episode on woke, which is pretty much what you broke down previously. But my favorite episode is the side effects of fuckboys. Please. What you were preaching the Bible, you and your co-host, Gentleman from Giants series, which is also an excellent series.
Oh yeah, my guest on that show was James Bland.
Yes, girl. You should have had your own Amanda Steele's Bible on that episode. Do you understand me?
I mean, you know, I wish I wasn't able to speak so honestly about that topic. You know,
y'all been through it. My fuck boy's on punishment right now. Till you
I
stop
always say I'm not an expert, but I'm experienced. You know.
No, but I mean, but the way you bring the realness to it is almost like a wake up pill, because, you know, you could have a conversation with your girlfriends about a situation it's so obvious what he's doing and the behavior he's given, and you'll tell your girlfriend, she's like, girl, you just hating. You know, it's okay. He does that from time to time, but there's no denial on that episode.
I just feel like we all have to admit to ourselves that sometimes we put up with stuff for our own stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you can call it what it is and be like, this is clearly fuckboy behavior. But I am putting up with it because I'm lonely. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is clearly fuckboy behavior, but I'm putting up with it because I have low self-esteem. You know, like this, you know, or I'm horny or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, but call it what it is. And I feel like if you start out by calling it what it is, then you can get to actually handling it how you should. And I know that's like my constant work is just like trying to, you know, actualize, like really making the best decisions for myself and not doing that out of ignorance, you know. And sometimes that takes making hard, facing hard truths about yourself. Like, ooh, maybe I am a little narcissistic. Ooh, that is not good. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just kind of catching yourself in those lies that you tell yourself. But the society kind of makes it easy for you to just get by on.
Yep.
Because society will definitely tell you, like, well, you have to have a man. And so you will put up with things simply because you're like, well, I'm supposed to have a man. It's like, you're supposed to not put yourself in perilous situations with people. That's why they tell you to put your mask on first. So.
Exactly.
That's what you're supposed to do.
So I'm going to listen to that episode as soon as we wrap this interview up. So.
All doses available where all podcasts are potted. Okay, so Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audio Boom, get into it.
Everywhere, girl. Matter of fact, we got a new season of Insecure coming up, one of our favorite shows, and you're, of course, a regular Tiffany. And Tiffany's pregnant this season. Now, I want to know the adjustments of you becoming, that girlfriend, and you are now in a pregnant situation.
Well, that's why you got to watch the show.
No, trust me, we can't wait for you to come
give you all that.
Because
I saw you texting me.
But no, I saw a flash, and I was like, and I saw your character, and I saw the belly. I said, oh, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It is going to be interesting, and I actually am really glad that we're taking this route, because I feel like it's a reality for a lot of us in our friend group, especially once you hit that 30 mark. So folks is in for a treat.
Definitely. And matter of fact, Houston's in for a treat. August 13th, Warehouse Live. We are talking about the.
You better use a segue.
Okay. Using the segue all the way up in here, girl, because I'm telling you, if my H-Town people do not show up and show out, now the first show's already sold out. So if you guys are early birds, you missed that flight. But there is a 10 o'clock show. And you're actually having not only yourself, but one of our local favorites, Ali Sadiq.
Yes. We are just very excited about our guests. Like, so we have 2 guests on each show, and I don't tell folks who's going to be on what show until they get to the show. Because what I've done with Our Funny and Black is I've cultivated the audience to really respect the fact that the show is about the content, not about the contestants.
Right.
And if I'm going to put anybody on that stage, they're going to be somebody that I feel like really has some input, some insight, and just some interesting elements to bring to the show. And so I really feel like folks have been trusting of that, and that's really exciting because we have sold out all of these shows without even announcing the guests. And to me, like, that speaks volumes about the fact that people really just want this content, and it's time that we can keep on pushing this content, because they'll try and tell you that folks don't want it. This they will. They will tell you that folks only want love and hip hop. That's what they'll tell you.
The devil's a lie.
But we have now demonstrated otherwise, and as you know, actions speak louder than words.
Oh, yeah. I find it more far entertaining and actual engaging when you can not only have a conversation and, take some knowledge from it, but we're going to throw some jokes up in the mix while we're trying to learn as well.
That's the whole point.
All right, man. And one thing also, before we close it out, man, thank you for bringing other urban influencers on your show. Now, this is one thing I do not like about some of us in the community that think the come up is only for them.
Yeah.
There's not enough room for everybody to have their spotlight and shine. But I like the way you incorporate.
Well, people are scared, man. People
yeah.
are scared. People are scared. People are scared that if they got in the house, then somebody else will get in the house and take massive attention. Okay? That's what they're scared of. They're like, I made it out the field, now she coming in here and I'm gonna have to go back. That's what they're scared of.
Exactly.
And so we gotta stop. Like, build your own house and have everybody come in. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to encourage everybody, trying to encourage folks to do the same. That's why it's like, no, like, and the beauty, incredible it has been that people are like, no, not one person has been like, how much do I get paid to do this? Not one.
Right.
Because all of our guests have been like, I just want to be a part of this for the community and doing some dopeness. And I cannot thank them enough, because this is something I'm building from the ground up. You got no investors. Ain't no big money behind this. This is my insecure check. Okay? That's what's funding this.
And people don't understand that.
Right?
When you're trying to build your own brand, trust me, nobody's financing me up front. This is like something I believe enough in to go ahead and put my investment in it.
This is building from the ground up and believing in something and getting other folks on board to believe in it. And if you want to find out about it too, check out smartfunnyandblack.com. You can follow us at Smart Funny and Black on Instagram. You can go to our YouTube, which is YouTube Amanda Seals. And, you know, we're just going to continue to keep providing content more and more in different spaces and different places. And, you know, we're starting with this tour, but it's only going to expand because that's what people want. And we got to give the people what they want. So thank you all for having me. And I hope to see everybody out in Houston on August 13th at Warehouse Live. And you can go to smartfunnyandblack.com for tickets.
You better sell them tickets, girl.
Why do we do that? Why do black people do that? That's our, whenever we cheer each other on, we literally just say the sentence. You better do that. You better sell them tickets, girl. Yes, tickets. Come through, tickets. Like,
we do that though. I'm about to do it.
Y'all better do that radio show.
Hey,
y'all
girl.
better do that. That's what's up.
Okay, that's what's up.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.